All right. You're live.
Right. Good. Thank you. Okay, we're calling the meeting to order for the advisory committee for the Allyn public water system. Basically, first item or second item is the pledge of allegiance. And the flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call. Jeff Perry.
Scott Gordon.
Jim Free.
We have a agenda before you. Any updates or anything? I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda.
Second.
Well, somebody has to make.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Yeah, I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Hey,
Okay. Approval of minutes from the last several meetings. I think we'll just take one at a time because on the last two, there was a couple of questions. So for the regular meeting of February 4th, 2025. Any corrections or additions?
I
don't.
Motion to approve. Second that.
I'll make a motion to accept.
second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the regular minutes of February 4th, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
The official meeting of February 25th, 2025.
And no changes.
Nor do I.
Motion to approve those.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the special meeting minutes of February 25th, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item C, special meeting of June 17th. There's something that I think. Those two.
That one I do not have. I don't. No, I know. Right, I got.
I have no changes.
I think it's clarification there. I think the second. Let's,
I don't have any changes on.
this would probably be for Travis, on the last paragraph, but in the middle there where it says Carrie commented that it was strange to lose power and lose the pump in 3 years. This second line here says the electrical was backwards, labels were backwards. Is that,
Oh,
I don't remember that.
that's an operator.
Okay, so strike that. Okay, so to begin where, end where electrical is period, and then begin with Freeman said. Yep.
Remove.
Okay. Understanding what not my change, so you'll have it right here.
Wait.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Remove go through the meeting minutes of the special meeting of June 17th, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Last but not least, the meeting, special meeting of July 22nd, something there. Like first, if I say,
I have no changes.
We did have public comment on here. It showed Cedarland addressed the group.
the only thing I didn't know is page 2 of 4 in the middle where it says have supported the committee recommendation to request revising the engineering plans to ensure full bi-directional redundancy. Weren't we just saying that a backup was?
Yeah, it was just a bit too.
I'm not sure it's bi-directional, so I'm getting at.
Okay. I can actually take that. You're right, it's not by direction. It's full redundancy.
Yeah,
I will move by direction.
Okay,
That's all.
other than that. You know,
And we can motion to approve them with that change.
Awesome.
and it's been moved and seconded to accept the special meeting minutes of July 22nd, 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. Reports, announcements, staff. Anything from the director? This is like reports and announcements.
Of course, meeting had. But, I will announce that the board has received its letter from ecology, granting us an extension until 2030 on our water right for congestion. Received here a few days ago after I had to prompt them that I had received it, that's what's submitted back bunch. And furthermore, most of the announcements I would make are basically part of our old business categories. We did have a still not title report, but that's the visual comparison with the entire rest of the application for green connection. Which is part of our new business items.
Right.
Of course, once we get through recommendations and the commission approves plans, their construction plans for consolidation, we're on fast track to go out to bid. No, that's all I have.
Okay. Anybody, any comments or things from committees? I only have one quick thing to make, for the record, to keep it clear, that we inadvertently, last meeting, all got together to look at the hillside where water meters were on Blackwell Street after the meeting closed, but no business was transacted or happened on that. So that it's clear, if anybody says, hey, all three mayor members were together, yes, they were inadvertently, that was not the plan. The plan was to see what,
On field research.
to see how the infrastructure's installed there. On the 5 homes above Blackwell Street. That's it for me. Okay, old business, discussion, recommendations, the DOH consolidation, all that. Obviously, I had Matt's push had to help draft this work with the engineer at West Sound to set up a way so there was some redundancy, so if one well fails, the other one picks up and everybody's served either way.
Right.
He drafted a addition to that, so I don't see an issue with it, but you with water systems more than I do, so
Right.
you see the good and the bad and the ugly of things we, us water systems, that I've never seen.
Yeah, it's
Where was that again? Yeah, I haven't had much time. I've got the issue.
I think that.
Yes, thanks.
So it would be looking at bid item. I think it's bid 10. Oh,
It's been,
the additive item at the end. This is one. Is that constant pressure booster pump system? It would be, a Goulds, Xylem, aquifer, or equivalent variable speed booster pumping system that would be installed so that if the pump down below is no longer able to run, we can valve on this system and have it provide pumping pressure to the rest of the system.
So you mean valve on, would that be
It would just.
one person, one guy has to change a valve and then this?
Yeah,
would fire up?
yeah. Literally, we'd have to go up and manually kick it
Okay.
off. Okay, now it can be, adjusted in the future for it to be an automatic system.
Okay, so a VFD or something would say, I'm at this pressure, I've got to start, and it would take off, okay.
The way I understood from our meeting was that, because of the funds, the loans, all those, the funds are available, what have you, to have at least in place the hardware and know what the modules are, one and two, so they could be upgradable in the future without a lot of, a lot of hassle. And yet, the biggest thing was, one of the biggest point was if my old well went out, the poor balance well would be able to kick in and still feed those houses that I used to serve. And
Right.
vice versa.
And you said there was 5 homes there that were going to be short if that happened?
No,
That were pressure,
No, it was like 22.
Yeah, 22.
that they're short. If that happened, and that's where this pump
Yeah.
comes in, then at that point, you'd have to come down, flip the switch as of now, until we get more.
Yeah.
And then that would feed them,
But then.
and that would also feed the tank, that would
Yes,
fill the tank hard.
yes.
Okay,
All right. That solves our redundancy issue with what we were experiencing before in the last meeting. And it also allows us to, look at a better upgradable system in the future. So that we can possibly get higher pressures up to those upper zones. whatever.
Right.
So,
We're trying to do two things, well, several things. We're trying to have one well be able to deliver all three, in my mind, all three levels, your zero, your waterfront to 140. Then the old group that I used to serve, which was basically 100 to 175, and then the rest of the way up the hill to the top. At least residentially. The, as far as fire flow, they would not have fire flow adjacent to them, but within the 400 feet, they would still have fire flow, fire hydrants as development occurred.
this pump here, is it going to be sized enough as far as gallons per minute to handle the expansion across that pressure zone?
In the new zone, yes,
So this will be sized to take on another 30, 40 homes. whatever it
he
is.
has it sized, so that when, okay, two different issues. He's sizing it, one, to take on more homes, but in the, I'll call it in the emergency mode at this point.
Correct.
Because we still have the 50-gallon running here, fine, until we upgrade that. But the pump, the high horsepower booster, will provide 127 gallons per minute and have enough to head on it to be able to drive up to the top. And we started looking at the number of lots between, between basically the Tacoma City Light and then south. And saw that we were not gonna clip, in other words, for the maximum peak daily demand or peak hour demand, we were covered. So,
Okay. Okay, you said that's 127 gallons a minute is what he figured out.
yeah, well, he figured, he got that pump. I looked at my old spec sheet when we were expanding the system, and 127 goes way beyond the number of lot, 50% more than there are lots up there.
Okay, will this be an emergency situation as of now until funds in the future open up? When you flip this switch, that's 127 gallons a minute.
Right.
Coming from the tank, or coming from the tank, and then it'll shut off when it reaches a certain pressure. Is that how it's?
I don't know that precise.
I believe the variable.
If we set at a certain pressure, I shut off at that.
Right, are you talking in manual mode or the automatic?
Well, I understand that it's a manual mode. If we flip the switch, it's just flipping the power switch to it.
I just want to make sure
But there's still that pump to. Yeah, it's gotta, cause it's just gonna be on some big loop where it takes the home and the tank until we just come back up off manual mode.
Well, so when I say manual mode, it'll always be valved off once we have an emergency situation, then we'll open valve it on, and it's still controlled by a variable speed controller.
Okay.
Put it in all that.
Right.
So, yeah.
It'll be
and that
static
might be
somewhere.
right now.
No, that's great.
So it'll shut off on its by itself.
Yes, when you, yeah, it's just,
We're gonna have-
we don't want water pressure up against it when it's not gonna be running, so we just have it off.
And you manually shut it off.
Yeah, well,
You manually turn it on and then it'll shut it off.
correct, but it'll be clean when it's actually on, it would be automatic. And then if the emergency situation subsided, we got the other mill operating, we go back up there and turn it off, mechanically valve off, any water pressure to it. And then we just sit until there was a change in demand in the system that required.
This is what's on auto, so nobody would control that, just trying to get some experience here. It'd be wirelessly connecting that, is that how you would do it to, yeah, already on the need? So then it basically would pump, and then when it found it needed more, it would automatically shut that off, is that how you, to be
Yeah,
honest,
it would run off pressure on it.
just the pressure would do it.
So was the engineer concerned that the water sitting on that pump would harm it, like just randomly?
Yeah,
sitting there?
it just doesn't need to sit down the pump.
And what I would do, I would take out the human element of people being on vacation or whatever. I'm just saying that we're a pretty small staff. And why can't that just cycle once a month? And not, that would take away actually somebody having to turn water on and stuff. If he's worried about maybe stagnant water or things just sitting there on it, hey, cycle it twice. You know, every other week it can come on and run.
I don't see why that's not a possibility.
Just let it be.
Yeah, it's a matter of.
And then if you've got the VFD set at parameters that, hey, I need to come on at this pressure because I'm low. And it shuts off at its high pressure, it'll just cycle. You can set it up for a timer for an exercise. So,
The only thing I don't know about that is because it's manual valves. That's the part.
leave the valve on. Take away the human element of having the water shut off too.
Oh,
And
okay.
leave the water onto the pump.
So, and I was taking it out of the mode where we're coming from, where it's emergency come on, it's basically there all the time.
Then, case there is an emergency.
Right, okay.
And then, fire pumps are operated that way too,
Yeah.
big fire pumps,
Yeah.
they're just sitting there waiting all the time for the moment,
Yeah.
but they cycle.
Right.
I will make that note.
It's just a question, and
No, it makes sense, and I don't see that to be a big problem.
Also, to get that, make it automatic. Is our expense more expensive now, or is that? Or is that?
No, there's-
It already got the control.
Control
You're gonna have the control there anyway.
Yeah.
And it's gonna have to be set up so that it's controlled off pressure. from the
Yeah,
line.
that used to float.
Yeah.
Float, not pressure, so.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's why we all have three different experiences. I'm glad of your floats, and he's probably something else.
yeah, I'm on transducers that say how
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
how much pressure I have here, tells me how many feet.
And that's, for a committee, that's not bad to have that range of, people, having that kind of experience.
And I'm doing family PD with wireless telephone lines right from one to pump out to the reservoir, we want the reservoir,
Tell you,
and then
we want 80 of cheap, great, with zero issue. Extremely, no
Yeah.
monthly
I
cost.
looked before, I looked at pretty expensive one back years ago.
I've got a connection. We've been using them for years, he's great, there's no monthly cost.
Yeah, it always be paid $15, $1,500 a year. PD.
Yeah, that's all gone. Yeah, don't worry about it.
So would the committee recommend the board approving with that change? With that addition?
The way I see it, I think that's. Engineer says this will work, we've got VFD there to shut it on and off. I think we take out the human element, the water can sit there, maybe we can make an exercise once a month or something and then let it be. Yeah,
So would that be the committee's recommendation?
Yeah, it's pretty much
You don't need
already
a
designed.
motion.
Yeah.
And I would agree,
Just recommendations for
my mind was coming from the other side where we just, had the failure. But if you go the other way where you run with it, then it's just a cycle. And then you don't have to worry about the failure. I mean, you have to worry about it, but you don't have to address it right then and there. It's already there. Ready to go without any human intervention.
Yeah, I need a little less of that.
Okay,
No, I mean, whoever's doing maintenance on staff at the time, literally, somebody goes out and in that house every day. And we run the meters every day, one day of what our meters are. And that's why we were able to catch it all fail.
Yes, great.
Because, we were able to catch it in 24 hours, we actually accomplished replacing it before water. No, this is a preferred, I like the recommendation based on the fact that it puts us in a safe position. Of course, the Allyn system, when it loses pressure, currently, people would be out of water nearly immediately.
Right.
But in this new system, if they did lose pressure and the redundancy kicks right in, you wouldn't even notice it. And in fact, there might need to be a consideration there for us to, well, we would still know because the source meter is connected right off the well, it wouldn't be moving.
Right.
We would know within 24 hours that it's not moving and it moves every day.
Right.
So, no, this is great. I will take that to our engineer and
but I think, it's really fine with basically, I'm thinking of steps that Travis has to go through, which is basically after we advise that we're okay with it, that he needs to take it before the board. If he goes back to the engineer, then he can add another step to this. And I don't want to do that.
I think taking it back to the engineer's a phone call. I don't know if that.
that's all I intended.
Yes.
The phone call with this recommendation makes those changes to the overall plan.
And then can't he just take it?
And then,
from
and
the
then
end?
have that plan.
That's fine.
myself
That's
provide-
fair.
Yeah.
I raised the issue and that's the solution. So what's wrong with it? Okay. New business discussion about the recommendations to the Exodus Acres wheelwright extension. Construction drawings.
Okay, so I'll give you a little context on this one. We go to page 2 of the site plan drawing. You'll see that there is 2 connections being presented on Wheelwright Street, north, and then 1 connection on Drum Street. The connection on Drum Street, there's already an existing building there at that first corner lot, which is a garage. And that one that's why putting the line there instead of running another one off the new lane that would be constructed down Wheelwright Street is why that connection is being placed there. But then the other 2 off of Wheelwright Street, those are going to go to these 2 lots which have not been subdivided.
And actually you don't have to be subdivided, you just have to have a declaration. And the only reason I say that is because people subdivision of county is a whole different thing.
Okay, then just a declaration.
Yeah. Because they were part of the original plat.
So how accurate do you believe that these drawings are? Is that really the end of the water main?
So, yes,
Uh,
that is the end of our,
Well,
And that'll be tapped off. This is port water, not carrier though.
yeah, this is all port water.
Okay. You're looking at page 2, 3,
I'm looking 2 of 3, yes.
the old carry system's up above on the very left and down the bottom, coming down that
Right, which is actually coming down.
pretty way. But it's not tied there to the.
So initially, my concern is if that is accurate, then how many feet past the tap would that blow off be?
Oh, going down Wheelwright Street?
Yeah, for those 2 services. And none of this water main is in, or is this water main existing?
Okay, so the darkened lines that are the W, that would be new water main going down Wheelwright Street.
Going to left tap.
Yeah, tapped off of, where the 90-degree turn goes up,
Okay, and what size is this line?
58
128 inch?
yes.
900. Okay, and let me ask you this. The person that owns these, or the lots, or the two lots that these services are going to, does he own the other lots?
All three, correct.
Does he own these other lots going
No.
down?
No.
He stops.
No, he just owns lots.
Okay.
And then, actually,
Okay, yeah.
he owns another lot in the system, but it is not available for connection because it's an Allyn Carey connection. So
Okay.
that would have to be served in a separate application when the time comes for us to receive those.
The only thing I would ask is maybe 10 feet or something
Passed.
past that tap, he sets the blow off and all that, because the very end. And let me ask you this, what do you think in time, shortly, that this will be extended? Don't know.
Don't know. Those are a lot of
There's,
vacant lots, so.
there's basically within 500 feet, 30 lots.
I would say at this point, make him or make the developer extend that 10 feet is all. Set your blow off for expansion. And
Okay,
then,
so 10 feet past where the service line is.
yes,
On
sir.
wheelbase.
Yes, sir. If not, you'll be constantly getting calls over time. And then the other thing is this blow off assembly. I have not seen your specs on that, but I want to make sure that's a blow off for expansion. If they put a cap there and a little 2-inch valve and a piece of pipe and a box for a blow off, that's no good. They need to set the 8-inch valve and then the blow off.
Yeah, see, to me, it's a little confusing because I think they're showing
Look
that
at the-
blow off, it looks like it's 6. I can't read it.
So a blow off for expansion would be the exact same pipe, whatever's getting laid.
Yeah,
So the next developer would come in,
right,
take the plug out of the MJ
Yeah, yeah.
valve, and then he stabs his pipe on those.
well, when I look at this here, the drawing, it looks like we're valving from 8 to 6.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I wouldn't recommend that.
No, no.
Especially since you guys won't let me put a 4-inch or 6-inch on the well up above. You're
No.
supposed to put a 6 on an 8-inch here. Because someday there'll be a fire hydrant down this route and that'll.
No, this is weird that they actually got 6-inch pipe all the way up, back up. For
Yeah.
flushing purposes.
Yeah.
That should be 2-inch
Yeah,
pipe for flushing. I would put blow off for expansion here. That would be an 8-inch MJ by MJ valve, 8-inch MJ tap 2 plug, and then some galvanized in a box. And I would make it 10 feet past the last tap, okay?
Do me a favor and draw that out on your copy.
I'm gonna
follow along.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm gonna
get about half the down.
I'm gonna disrupt the apple cart here a little bit. You're gonna love me for this.
We love you.
Okay. We're paying this, okay, so this is West Sound. West Sound has its free Mansfields. Okay, this is not good. This drawing. What I mean by that is this, he's got the water line on top of the sewer. Not a good thing.
It does not say that here.
I know that, that's gonna be. It's one of those things that you put it on water lines, you gotta know where the sewer is.
So on the water line
Just
subject,
that guy. Laying out what sewer is going to be. And I don't know if that's been communicated to us.
Okay,
I'll be honest, we've had a developer go in recently that the engineer put the water line down the middle of the road. It makes it easy for them. They
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
It's super nice.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Pick one side of the road or the other. There's a lot of reasons for that. It's a service lines, this and that. You only got 2 that are crossing that are long, that are potentially leaking underneath the road. Yeah, your stub outs for your fire hydrants
yeah.
are very much
I'm
shorter.
110% behind.
Pick one side of the road or the other. That's what I,
Okay, so a couple things here. this water line that they're showing there is not right, coming from the bottom there where it says like West Sound, little title block box that says West Sound,
No.
where it starts off the water, not the extension, but the old line,
Yeah,
it's not the right spot. Not close. I mean, it's at least 10 feet off. Second thing is, there's already a flange and a valve on the north side of the right of way at Drum Street for the takeoff of this on the right. You don't need to do a tap. It's already set at 8-inch. And if you doubt me, I got pictures. It's not a pretty connection. It's one that was done when the other development happened with the Sealand Homes, but it's in there. The next problem is, assuming the contours are correct. First of all, the water line, the way it's actually in there, will be more on the low side of the road. And I don't know if it's off the road, but it's real close to the, you know, if the road's 20 foot, it's real close to the eastern edge, the right side. Which means then you're gonna have to get easements from that property owner before you do anything. Unless you wanna use my old easements. Which is another story.
so, yes.
So what I'm trying to say is this. It's gonna be impossible for us to make a decision because the line doesn't curve like that. For my measurements. Maintain the roads. So going up Drum Street, it doesn't curve like that. You know, where it starts closer to the south boundary and works its way north as you work west. It's pretty straight. Give or take a foot. Going up the hill. You want me to just draw it out?
Yeah.
I started
like
last
a
night.
menagerie, the one set of recommendation.
Yeah, because we got
I
open.
mean, I'm confused a little bit where, you know, let's say at the end of the water main blow off assembly, I mean, it looks like it's in the middle of the road.
Right, probably don't want
Which
that.
is relatively common nowadays, but I don't like it, pick one side or the other. I think,
And that's just because what they do is they do a drive-on box that you have you just screw the blow off in and blow. it
yeah,
out.
but we put a traffic box in and then we put a cap on it and then we have assembly to make that we screw on.
Right.
Picks up, but you're gonna, in the future, you're gonna have workers trying to deal in the middle of the road, trying to flush water. There's a lot of reasons I want to be on one side or the other.
And in the end here, I just don't see a detail in the notes for the blow off assemblies.
It's there, but it's really weird and ugly and not right, like Mr. Carroll said.
Perhaps that's why it's.
There,
Mr.
and
Carey says they step it down to 6 inch, around 6 inch, all the way out
Yeah.
to the end there. And it's-
that's not good.
No,
You need to read that.
No, I had to blow it up. I couldn't do it. There's no way. I mean, and then you're blowing it up.
Look at it, it's reading that thing.
You know, so I used 2 sets of glasses, you know.
I'm still back, Mr. Carey. You said that there was a tap already existing, just waiting.
Yeah.
We better use that tap. You know if it's on the side of the road.
It's close to the side. It's a little bit in the road, but not in the middle.
Which side is it on?
East side.
Which would be what direction?
This, two.
Closer to.
No, closer, no, the other way. The lot,
Oh.
where your new line is,
Hey, I would highly suggest we use that
Yeah.
tap, whatever happens, because that C900 doesn't like a bunch of tap. you know.
no, well, it's got a C9, I mean, it's C900 and a valve. It's got an 8-inch valve sitting on.
Yeah.
On it too.
So. So.
I need to draw it and I need to get it to you.
Is there a valve can up so you know exactly where it's at?
Yes. There was.
So,
I'm trying to think.
like you're saying that the water main coming out of where the southern, you're saying that that's actually more like 10 to the east.
At least 10, maybe 15 feet further.
So if you move this whole thing 10 feet over to the east, that would put it on that side of the road.
Right.
So perhaps.
See-
Really what's going on here is this drawing is just shifted the wrong way. And there would be a tap right here.
But they did, it was, I'll show you here, let me show you a picture. I got a picture.
Because about where it's showing where to put the tap, is that where there would approximately be a tap already? That it was shifted to the.
So you can see. So you're looking,
You want to see, Scott?
so you're looking south on Wheel Right, standing under the Drum Street, looking south towards Lakeland Drive. The old valve that was on your system that goes up the hill is right there. The new valve that was a tap is there. It does the dog leg and then comes like this, and then there's a valve and then it dead ends.
So this would get abandoned here, is this?
No, no, way to the back.
This would have to get retied in,
No, it's all tied in, because there's a.
is there a section of pipe up here to tie into?
Oh, the tie-in's right here, going down the hill, going down to the lift, towards the lift station, right there. Towards Sullivan Street and Compass. So it's right there, because there's a rock.
Okay, so where would the new water line get laid, where would he connect off to?
You take off here.
And go that way, okay,
North,
all right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just realizing,
We'll start together and drawing it out on where things need to be shifted.
I think my recommendation is you don't draw it for me, because I have the notes and I have the pictures and the other things, so. As much as anything else put it together. I mean, that's. First of all, my concern is that, Westbound should have caught that without covers, at least, that there's something up. You know what I'm saying, instead of doing another whole tap. And we gotta watch it in there, because if you go too far west with the line, you're over the top, you already sleeve the sewer line through there. When I say we, Sealand Homes sleeve the sewer line, we sleeve a sewer line through there. So I will find some drawings, I will pull together and give it to you. But the problem is, until we get that straight, where to put it exactly, we're not quite there. Because I'd like the community to see exactly what's where on the ground, and then know what you're approving going forward, because right now, you don't know, and I can tell you that these lines, this one that they show going north on Millwright here, the new line, is literally over the top where the sewer would be. And that's obviously not gonna fly. I do agree that we need to get a clearer, better thing on this law. And it appears that we also, we should have another cutout or another set of drawings. There's actually two different versions of metering you got, that we're saying here. One's a single, one's a Y, or like a U.
Well, I don't allow that anymore, that's kind of an old practice where you run one service line across the road and then you branch it
Yeah.
to the two. It has been common practice in the past, but I don't allow that.
I've done it, but I'm getting either way.
Part of the reason I don't do that is when there's a leak on one water line, you're taking up two people. I want to limit that.
Okay,
So that's part of the reason I do that.
yeah. Fair. But I mean, at least working with the existing drawing, the way I see it, you should have two captions, one for the single, one for the, forgetting agreeing or not agreeing with that method, but just, if you're going to do it in the drawing, show it in your captions, the sub drawings.
Jeff, I did give you a 1 point early on. Complete set of specs and developer extension manuals that I use at the district. I don't know if you've had any time to look at that.
Did you send it to me?
No, I gave it to you in hard form after one of the meetings, so.
Oh.
It's fine, I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, like I'm really out.
Yeah. Probably should. I'm confident as far as specs, this is not the only one.
No, I'm
We probably should look
I mean,
at that.
there's a valve that San Jose uses in there that you can actually put a valve right on top on the 2 inch. And it's like sitting right there and you can just, and then flush right there.
Yeah, so,
You know, the city of San Jose uses for that.
right. I suggest, and we might be a little late to part, the specs probably need to get addressed very soon and dealt with and maybe changed to exactly what we want because there's development that is coming in and
Yeah.
has continued to come in and will. And this splitting of the service lines, I personally don't agree with it. Should be in there that we don't allow that. Here's how it's gonna be, one tap, one home. Blow offs, fire hydrants we want, meters, valves, all that stuff needs to be spelled out.
So what you're saying is that you would, like, in the case of these lower lots here off of Wheelwright, where it's one tap, two homes, it would be one tap, one home.
Yes, sir. Two taps, you know.
Two runs.
Two runs.
Yeah, so yeah.
You could,
So you can tap it, with a T that has two connections.
You have your main.
Yeah.
You would tap it here and a foot and a half later, you would tap it again.
Okay.
Two saddles, two corks, two everything. Go on there, two independent farms. Independent, each home's independent.
Which really isn't that much larger an expense when you're doing it right there.
No, it's the same ditch. Both lines go back into the same trench. You cut across the road. It's not two separate trenches.
And this is mostly an experience reason why you would do that, or?
Yeah, if you're dealing with a leak on the service line, which
Okay.
happens, you're taking two homes out of water instead of just the one that you're dealing with. I am low pressure situations, which we are addressing. Each home would feel if we've got kids and sprinklers and washing machine going on the other person, they would feel that in a low pressure situation now. They wouldn't. With two lines is, you know, whatever, there's a huge discussion back and forth, but.
These taps are being one inch lines, or they?
What size is that line now?
Is it copper tube size or is it iron pipe size? That was one of my questions also on the poly. And,
1 inch type K poly service lines.
there is no type K. Type K is a copper. They've got that mix.
That's what it says.
Yeah, you guys used to have copper and somebody put type K copper and they just said, well, we'll fix that. We'll put poly and left it type K. Type K the copper. That's weird. And type K would be copper tube size, so which is quite a bit smaller. 1 inch copper tube size is 3/4 inch iron pipe size. So you're running two homes off a 3/4 inch iron pipe size service line. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and see, all the ones I put in were 1 inch pipe, you know, I'm
1 inch
size.
iron pipe size pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. But this needs to be cleaned up because the developers themselves are struggling. They want to get it in,
Yeah.
but they, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Given my experience, but we just run 2 inch. A single 2 inch line to service line.
you could, but
Service
it's,
But then you get to this, you still, you're not addressing one issue he's raising. But,
yeah, you'd still take two people out for one deal, and the 2 inch starts getting big money. A 2 inch core is starting to get real, and the 2 inch poly, and it's hard to deal with. Stuff, and we would normally run 2 inch for a commercial building or 2 inch meter set or something, but never for an individual home.
It looks like the specs are using not like a yoke scenario with two individual connection points.
you need to believe it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about that too, because we always, in ours, we just use the copper setters,
Yes.
you know, that, and literally you can put like a rebar through the center and hold two of them.
Yeah. That's great, and hopefully they have checks on them.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll check on there, so
Yeah,
that's
I'd
great.
rather see the yoke scenario considerably easier to connect the meter.
Yes.
But that is a great. Yes. All I'm saying, I think there's at least a meeting or two, just facts, that's probably.
There's a meeting just to get the pipes in the right spot. The other thing is too, Travis, the parties putting in this, application. Seriously, with what's there in the ground right now, where the water line is, they will have to, following your policy, the port's policy of easements, and not using my old easements.
Right.
They're gonna have to go to that property owner and get an easement.
And then the road, how does this get laid out?
Okay. The plat of Allyn, is a unique group of it. So everybody owns to the center line.
Right.
Hmm,
Even if it goes through there. Okay.
yeah. So you're going on the other side. The county years ago, like with the sewer, when they ran the trunk line up, they tried to get easements, but they didn't everywhere, but they punched it through. And they went for prescriptive easements.
Is tracer wire going in? Does it say that in the specs? Is there scare tape going in? Has to get
I don't
bedded and
know about-
stand?
Not scared, but I know Trace was in the spec.
Okay.
But yeah, there's some little things that have to occur here, I think. It's not quite, my way of saying it's not quite ready for prime time. And Travis, my recommendation, I don't know if it's in our specs, but whenever we put a water line together, a plan, we at least minimally need to show what the sewer is. Relative to everything. Because,
I've already got.
okay, good.
Or you would call locate, that would show where the sewer is within reason,
Right.
that would show.
Right.
You're saying you want the contractor to actually lay eyes on the sewer line? I think that's a bit.
Yeah, I agree. The plat of Allyn has caused its own headaches because certain people haven't filed as-bills with the county. And so that's created its own problem. I mean, as long as I'm around, I know where these are because I've logged them. And
So
I'm,
when locate get called out.
Yeah.
Are they, and you live there, and are they pretty accurate on the sewer lines and stuff?
except down here in Wakefield, there was something that was way off, and I asked Richard Dickinson about it. And I said, I don't remember the guys digging over there for that. They did directional bore, 30-inch directional bore. I said, I don't remember them over there. I remember a pile of dirt, but not a tailings, but not. And he says, by his drawings, he doesn't show up there either.
Do I understand it, he's no longer there?
Richard Dickinson?
Maybe why I didn't get called back.
That's maybe I need to call back. Because I was,
They put out, let's say this, they put out for that job. So,
you should have, was it for the manager or for the director? The deputy director?
I believe it was for him.
Probably something we can discuss.
Yes,
I believe.
oh, yeah. But something happened, sure. I know that, but so.
And I wouldn't have the contractor confirm where the sewer is. If the sewer guys come out, the county comes out, and they can work it, it's there, you're 10 feet away from that, then you just gotta roll with it.
I guess what I'm trying to say is this, fine, but then they need to show it in the drawings, what the county's telling them. Because, I'm gonna put it this way, in the plat of Allyn, they're gonna have to do that because of the problem.
When a developer comes in, he comes in and says, hey, I've got 6 lots.
Yep.
He has already gone to the engineer. And the engineer already has your specs, it has everything. He brings the prints to you and say, I need you to approve these or not.
Sure.
The engineer already has the separation, he already has all this in there
Right,
in his drawing.
okay,
But this is not a set of drawings you get from a developer. I don't know what this is,
okay.
but this is not that.
All I'm saying is that's not where things are.
Did the developer bring this to you?
I think that's Travis.
No, that's from my son.
Correct.
On behalf of the.
Yes, this is pretty like you get a full big set, you've got all this, you got topography,
Yeah.
you've got the easements, you've got all this going through there.
I,
You
I,
get
I agree,
a set of drawings.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing.
And the port should, I think we request a minimum of 3 sets, you gotta have a field set out there with the guy in the truck doing the inspections. And the office has their permanent set, I think we have. Anyhow, okay.
So. My recommendation is it's not ready to approve in any shape or form.
Yeah, no, I will take all the notes that I've got here, plus what you've drawn up on your pieces,
And I'll draw up something, provide you some data as to where things are. Only, it's only because at different points, I've tried to take measurements of things because people are not, developers in the past have not done their process, so. And maintain the roads, I gotta know where things are a little bit.
Can you look for that set of specs that dropped off? Should be about 15 sheets, 20 sheets,
20 sheets, can you give me a date range?
about 4 months ago.
Oh,
Okay.
okay,
I can try to get you another.
sometime this year.
Yes, I'll try to get you another set. I will drop off a couple sets here for trials.
If
Okay.
it's not, if it's not too much that additional.
I know,
I have to do a lot of paper processing.
I thought you were crossed.
okay, I'll go for the spec.
I appreciate it. So I think with that, there's nothing else we could do on this one, right?
No, just have to file it. It looks like we're speaking about an elevation. Not just the top down, you prefer to see that elevation.
I mean, that's to update your as-built, supports as-built.
Yeah, we're still.
Yeah. And especially, with these small lots, a lot of congestion in the roads, you really need to know your elevations. What's going on?
I got another question. Is the developer using the same engineer that we're somewhat using?
Yes.
They're all in the same.
Yes. Yes. It's a little troubling.
Yeah, because the engineer basically, and it's not like a lawyer, but you need somebody that's on your side. For
Yeah,
what
no.
you need, and he's there with the developer, obviously he's trying to, hey, I need to get this in and what's the quickest, cheapest
Right.
way. That's how all developers are.
Well, and that's the same with me. In fact, actually, I submitted to this engineer before the court did. Mine, and then mine got parked because court needed to do things, and that was fine. That was fine.
I always take it to a different engineer if he's in-house already coming from that engineer. I take it to a different, to protect my interest.
Right. The idea, I'm sure one of the ideas here was that because this firm is doing the as-bills for the port and the whole plant was if done reasonably accurate, it'd be a great.
Easy.
Yeah.
Cool, yes.
Easy money.
Yeah, and we'd have some consistency and accuracy in what have you.
Right.
Obviously, we're a little off on that. Because you say this one and you look at the next one that comes, you see that it's quite significantly different. Yeah, so that's not my attention.
That's how I'm thinking this, Travis. I'm gonna draw up a couple of specs. All right, for you this week, probably, still.
Mine might not get to until Monday, that was.
That's fine. No, the only one I'm very on first. The port's submission. Because this, we get those sent over to West Sound sometime next week. That will be optimal.
Item 9, any other general water system discussion? I guess we were having one with regard to the specs, not extensions and all that kind of thing.
Also, I would like to say on that, general comment that I have my VFD computer control guy radio control guy. He's coming in a week or two. Is that something, and he stays overnight here in town when he comes in. He lives in Spokane.
Right,
Is that something you guys want to meet him? And it doesn't have to be on an official basis. Do you want to meet him and see how this stuff works and how do the radios work and what happens?
to me, it wouldn't hurt.
You okay with that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I would be interested in how coming.
Well, I could even set it up as a forum meeting, I
Yeah.
notice, and that allows, really, to show up and listen in.
Yeah, probably 45-minute deal or something. It wouldn't be crazy, but he's extremely inexpensive and there's no monthly bills and it works.
Right,
That's, and I've had, some conversations about the setup already.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what day that is?
I will let you know this week and sometimes I will pin it.
I need like 3 days.
I'll let you know this week the
Okay.
ballpark and then I'll pin them down.
Okay, so good.
The only day this month I know of that cannot meet in the evening is the 25th of this month.
I think that's the day he's coming.
That's always how it works. If it has to be earlier in the day, yes, I can do it earlier in the day, but I got 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm still working and stuff, so, we'll try
Yeah.
that. He stays over at night, he works when he
Yeah,
comes in, so
yeah.
then maybe he put on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, same benefits with this too.
Yeah, now it kind of works, and what happened, it's Calvert Tech out of Spokane, so, his name's Shannon, and he is incredibly sharp. So he has been doing all our BFD work and programming and all that for years, and our skate system, he puts that in. Our SCADA system is not the most modern SCADA system you've seen, but he. And
That's after that.
yeah, no monthly bill, no.
Yeah.
You ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I missed the step, but yes, I was picking up my paperwork and, oh. Okay, the next meeting date, we're gonna play it by ear once you.
Yeah, do a special meeting once, we've got all of this turned around. And,
No, I'm saying, but also special meeting.
so the next meeting will be the regular, which is the first Wednesday of the month
Of September,
of September. So
Okay.
I can give you a date on that. It is,
like the 3rd or something.
yeah, third September.
3rd of
And
September.
then, if we can get these plans turned around before then, I will try to put together a short meeting on another Wednesday. Or,
Sure, sounds good.
Okay,
but that will be just a targeted special meeting with just that, so.
okay. Okay, so we got the next meeting date, public comment, obviously, no public here. Do we have any public comment? On Zoom?
Nobody.
Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
And second.
And move in second, meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Yeah, clean up paperwork, you know, get noticed.